It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
And that sound, of course, means that it's time for our weekly Conduit for Action game show, or it's actually a quiz. Yeah, it's pretty good. Knowledge is power, and we talked about this on the program earlier in the week. In the United States, we have freedom of association and freedom of speech protected by the First Amendment. Speech can take various forms. It can be a person speaking. It can be written words. It can be performance art. And it can be even you giving money to a group to educate voters or engage an issue. We now found out this week that it can also be putting a blueprint or a schematic of a 3D printed gun out on the internet. The problem is, lately, there's been a big push against the idea of free speech and freedom of association, and some have labeled it dark money. We'll have more on that here in just a moment. Joe, I see that you're on screen. It's good to see you again, sir.
It's good to be here.
Okay, about to say, we're going to make sure the microphone works. So, dark money. In Arkansas, those who decry dark money try to point to groups who spend money on issue advocacy. These groups are typically 501c4 nonprofits who do not directly advocate for the election or defeat of a candidate, but do educate the voters on issues and voting records of public officials. Under clear U.S. Supreme Court precedents, including Citizens United, money is speech. Unfortunately, special interests and politicians themselves are trying to silence groups that speak out and educate voters or tell the people what government and politicians are doing. This effort has mainly been pushed by liberal Democrats like Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, and Kamala Harris. The establishment's response has been to try and silence groups that speak out. Although they do not overtly call for the silencing of speech, they try to intimidate groups that associate together by trying to make them disclose their donors so that they may then be targeted and attacked for their speech and association. This quiz highlights some of the main principles underlying the importance of free speech, including the freedom to associate together and spend money to get your speech out there to the masses. Transparency is for government. Privacy is for the people. Very important concept right there. So, let's get to the quiz, shall we? Joe, what was your score last week? Do you remember?
72, I think, is what I got.
Yeah, and that was a big one. There was a lot of questions on that one. I thought you did a good job. Yeah, but we need to get this back up. Let's see if you were paying attention to the interview earlier this week with the Cato Institute's Trevor Burrus, who talked about this very topic we're discussing on this Friday. I know you've slept since then. I know you have. Okay. Question number 1. May people in the United States freely associate together and spend their money engaging in issue advocacy and other free speech? Yes?
No.
Freedom of speech and freedom of association are protected by the First Amendment? Or no, the government can force groups to disclose members and donors of private organizations who associate together?
Who do you think we are? North Korea? Of course we don't have the right to do this.
Oh, sorry.
That's the wrong one, Paul.
Wanted you to have
yes,
some
we have
music.
the freedom of speech and freedom of association.
Okay, good. All right. Speaking of North Korea, you know, they flew from the Korean War. They flew the remains of our soldiers home. It's a very good thing. Question number 2, which president added new requirements forcing nonprofit organizations to disclose their top donors to the IRS? Was it George W. Bush, President Barack Obama, or President Donald Trump? Who was it that said, hey, you've now got to disclose your donors to the IRS? We won't tell anybody, we promise, unless there's a John Brennan up there that are going to leak it to CNN, which, you know, is easily could happen.
Thanks, Obama.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's President Obama? All right.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like something he would do. That's ridiculous. That sounds like something he would do.
Which president removed those new requirements? Which president removed the new requirements forcing nonprofit organizations to disclose their top donors to the IRS? Was it George W. Bush, Obama, or President Donald Trump?
I'd go Donald Trump.
All right, so
because that doesn't sound like anything Obama would do.
Right.
One, which would mean that I would have to change my last answer to
something else
to George W. Bush.
Yeah,
and Bush wouldn't have done that. I don't think he would have. That's my opinion.
Do you teach classes, Joe, to high school students on how to take standardized tests?
No, I do not.
Oh man,
why?
You should. Your logic is this is
it's flawless over here.
He's taking you guys to school. In the famous Citizens United Supreme Court case that made it clear that money is speech, what was the name of the movie that Citizens United produced that the government tried to prevent from being aired? Was it the first option, Hillary the movie, B, the billionaire candidate Mitt Romney, or C, Stopping John McCain?
I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't think it would have been called Hillary the movie.
Yeah, if they would have put
Stopping John McCain sounds
all right. So you're
promising. I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly have no idea.
Okay, Citizens United Supreme Court case. So you're just going to take a random guess.
Yeah, because the billionaire candidate Mitt Romney. Is he a billionaire?
Yeah, honestly,
is it just because of who he's related with?
I don't know. I would assume so. I mean, he's certainly rich.
Those family ties.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to need an answer though.
I'm just going to go.
23 seconds. We're going to need an answer in about 23 seconds, which is the end of this clip.
I'm just going to go with Stopping John McCain.
Okay, going with Stopping John McCain.
Yeah.
Question number 5. May 501c4 nonprofit organizations spend unlimited money with no financial disclosure to advocate for the election or defeat of a candidate for office? May 501c4 nonprofit orgs spend unlimited money with no financial disclosure to advocate for the election or defeat of a candidate for office? No, these nonprofits may not advocate for the election or defeat of a candidate. They may engage in issue advocacy or education speech. Or the second option, yes, dark money is rampant and these groups can spend billions to buy up politicians.
Well, the answer is no, they can't, because 501c4s are educational nonprofits. Like they're meant for that.
Okay.
That's why you have 501c3s.
Okay. Question number 6. In the U.S. Supreme Court case, NAACP versus Alabama, what was the holding? That the NAACP was not required to disclose who the members of their organization are to the state government of Alabama, or that the state government of Alabama could require the disclosure of the names of NAACP members?
I don't even know when this was, to be honest.
NAACP versus Alabama. Well, yeah, I couldn't. I mean, I could give you a guess, but I don't want to taint your decision. I don't want to.
You just don't want our audience to get onto you for it.
That's true. They have got. I mean, I could take a guess, but yeah, they have gotten on me before for helping you. Well, what they call cheat. They would say you helped Joe cheat.
You were guiding me to my answer.
Yeah, I was leading the witness.
Water to horse, horse to water. I don't know why I said water to horse.
Well, whatever. Doesn't even really matter. It's Friday. We're in hour number 10 of our broadcasting week. So we're in the middle of it.
I'm just going to say the NAACP was not required to disclose.
NAACP not required to disclose who the members of their organization are to the state government of Alabama. Okay, now question number 7. This one's an easy one. We just read it to you. Who is transparency for? The government and what they do with the people's money, or is transparency for private individuals spending private money?
It's for the government, what they do with our money.
So, if you have not already subscribed to receive Conduit for Action emails, you can do so with question number 8. Then you answer question number 9, in what city do you live? And then we submit and we hold our breath and we hope that Joe...
Paul, what did I get?
I don't know.
Oh.
You got to hit done.
I was wondering if you... 85.
85.
I'm on the
6
upswing.
7. 85.7. I think what you probably got wrong was the John McCain movie.
Really? It was Hillary the movie?
Hillary the movie.
Are you kidding me?
The Citizens United. Of course it was Hillary. We're talking about arguably the most powerful political family in the world, and of course they're going to do everything they can to try to stop somebody from speaking. And by the way, of course it was somebody on the far left trying to stop speech.
I didn't know when this took place. Like, I didn't know when this court case took place because if depending on when it took place, it could have been stopping John McCain.
Well, stopping John McCain's a good guess because honestly, if they had some kind of John McCain, I could totally see being a guy that would try to limit speech. 100%, 100%. John McCain would be the one Republican that would try to limit speech for sure. But yeah, in the now famous Citizens United Supreme Court case that made it clear that money is speech, what was the name of the movie that the Citizens United produced that the government tried to prevent from being aired? It was Hillary, the movie.
What if there was something in
this summer? Do what?
What if there was something in the movie that they didn't want out?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
Like
everything.
Actual live footage of her scrubbing the servers with a towel.
Or it was just, maybe actual footage of her making the Uranium One deal. If you want to talk about this is what's so crazy with this whole Russian hysteria. I mean, even the mainstream media, as I was driving into work today, they're talking about Donald Trump's former attorney is now switched on him and is now rolled over and is now claiming that Donald Trump knew about the meeting with the Russian. And it's like, even the mainstream media, they're not even saying it as fact. They're just saying, well, CNN reports that this is what Cohen is saying. And I've thought to myself, oh, okay, well, CNN reports it, so it's got to be true. It's and I just thought even mainstream media outlets, now they're going to run with this, but even mainstream media outlets, they want to make sure that they don't claim it as fact. They're saying that CNN reports it because they're so, I think even they know that CNN is just unhinged in terms of their bias at this point. And, of course, the mainstream media is as well. But